Hold on, I need to undo this. All right. No one's there yet. Okay, well, I'll start and just talk slow. Listen, black women, I'm not coming to do a whole lot of talking about the chaos with BWE, but I think it's important for us to always stay focused, right? And I know we're getting lost. I regurgitating talking points from people that are black women, although they have, I lost the light. And I think we need to stop doing that. We need to stop getting lost. I'm in the street, y'all. Sorry about all the noise. So I read and heard all of the supposed controversy that's going on with Cynthia and how a lot of newcomers like damn, I forget her name right now, but the coldest perspective, her videos and etc. People who are chiming in, and what I'm noticing is it's a pattern of the same old thing, regardless of how new the person is, how old they are to this sector. It's the same shit. Everyone keeps focusing on black male, never thinking about how to deal with and work on how they can truly be a benefit to black women. It's always about trying to pick apart another, okay, I'll deal with that later, another content creator for what she is or isn't doing, instead of just saying, okay, I have my opinion, I can speak on whoever I want to, but I'm really going to make my content about helping black women instead of always looking to blame them for everything that's wrong in our society, right? Like, you have so many women these days looking to go the route of, you know, the mother is to blame for why the guys are the way they are, why the women are the way they are, and everything wrong in the community. As if, okay, society doesn't play any part in that. People don't make their own decisions as to, I have to prop y'all for a minute, as to whether or not they're going to be pieces of shit or stand up people with integrity. They seem to just gloss over that like it doesn't exist when we know it does. I don't want it to fall. I'm going to go to the side for just a minute. Oh, you can't with this. All right, y'all. Y'all just got to look at the ceiling for a minute. I need to close my coat. Every time something happens in the black community, we're always back at the same starting point of, oh yeah, it's those black women again. And if she don't get straight, nothing in the community will. Because, you know, it's always about trying to protect the image of these black males and not making it seem like they are as important as they actually are to them, but they pretend they're not. Now, take in point, I'm not going to start going through all of her content and trying to flip out on her or tear her down, but the new woman I was telling you about, the coldest perspective, right? Now, I was listening to a couple of her videos. A lot of the stuff that she talks about, excluding her opinion about black women, I can get with. I can truly identify with what she's saying, and a lot of that is very factual. But when she starts anchoring down on the same bullshit that the rest of them do, where it's always about black women and how they got to change and do shit differently to make things different, I take offense to that. I really do, because It's the same old stuff that everyone's doing that is not the truth. Okay? Now, overall, she's correct in the sense that if black women want change for their future and they want their future to be different, you're going to have to do certain types of change, which I don't really think any of them are really ready to do. And it's real simple. The change you got to make is giving up that black motherfucker. Giving him up. You got to give him up completely. You got to stop looking and searching and reaching for excuses to hold on to him like Cynthia does every fucking day, and all the rest of them that are like her, or that are, you know, like her little spawns that come from her channel, because there's so many of them, right? So earlier today I was watching the video Coldest Perspective did on Cynthia, and I wrote in the comments what I had an issue with that she was talking about on that live or video, whatever it was, I can't remember right now, in relation to black males. I really don't care what she says about Cynthia because she's on point. For those of you that don't know, I'll be the first to tell you, I am not a hater of her. I dislike her content. I dislike her dishonesty about how she is deliberately trying to mislead black women into relationships with men who are going to commit black femicide. Okay? I do not like how she deliberately gives out misinformation, trying to disguise it as if this is some new stuff to the world that she's created or come up with, when she's a liar. Nothing short of. The whole thing is, the majority of them, they Google the topic that they're looking to speak about. They take down a few notes or jot down several. Drop a couple of white doctors' names, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, they're the smartest fucking person you ever met, right? She's so intelligent. She's so this. The only thing I can clearly say that she is and has over me is the ability not to curse as much as I do. That is my character, flaw in my character, because that's really who I am, right? Now, when I'm at work, I can control it or eliminate it. But when I'm speaking, and I'm speaking to people I'm concerned with, or who I actually want to get the message the way I want you to receive it, I feel it's necessary to curse. I don't feel like I need to change who I am to be accepted by people I'm trying to reach, because if I got to work that damn hard to reach you, you're not trying to listen to shit I got to say anyway. So why do it? I already am shadow banned on this bullshit app, which is why I got to leave and go to another one, right? I've always been demonetized, so that's not an issue. But it is some of the very things, you know, I got to get glasses. Thank you, Star. She said I curse too, don't care. But it's some of the very things that distinguishes me from them, right? And it's going to be, sorry, y'all, New York City is one of them days like that today. Everywhere I know curses. Pretty much me too. It's not a good thing. It's just, it is what it is, right? But what I had a problem with everything that was being said, I put down in the comments so you can see it verbatim. Now, there's always this issue about morality, right? Hi, good afternoon. Love, wisdom. Whenever it comes to black people, period. Whether it's the dudes versus us, right? So there was a part in the video where, I'm trying to get a nice spot to sit and talk to y'all. There was a part in the video where she started talking about the dude's morality versus ours. And of course, we were the worst thing, right? And they were, I don't even want to reiterate the words that she used to describe them, because I literally hit the ceiling and I was like, wait a minute. Why is she neglecting to own up to black femicide, sexual assault, the degeneracy of these dudes, literally selling people They literally sell people into servitude, into bondage, into prostitution. How do you just act like that's a blip? That never really happened. They're good. How do you do that shit? Keep a straight face and keep talking about women, but then you neglect the biggest character flaw and problem with the morality of the black male. How do you do that? Especially when these particular males, and I think I'm gonna do a video on that, the history of prostitution in the black community by the hands of them against black women, right? They have been doing this to us literally since slavery. I kid you the fuck not. Like, all right, let me explain to y'all. Back in slavery, right? There was a term, say hi, ladies. There was a term, right, that they used to call the black women depending on where you were. Now, be clear, when I give my information, right, it's mostly coming from the history of black women from Louisiana, Shreveport in my case to be exact, because that's the history and legacy of my foremothers. So when I say this, I'm by no means trying to lump all of us into my particular history, because I'm not that stupid to not understand that as black women and surviving the Holocaust of slavery, we have all had our own specific family horrific Holocaust stories. I know that, right? So don't think I'm doing that, because I'm not. But I can only speak from the reference that I know. And I could only speak from my people's past and what they've been exposed to that I learned from. So anyway, I had to put these on so that when y'all put stuff in there, I could actually read it. Give me a minute and I'll drop the link, right? But anyway, so let me get back to my point, because you know I done lost the train of thought for a minute. So when she was speaking about their morality, and I was saying a minute ago about how I was immediately taken out of my own skin, because I'm thinking about all the horrific shit I see them do on the news every day, what I see them do in communities I used to live in, communities that are adjacent to me, and just throughout the whole entire nation, right? So I said, how could she just act like that doesn't exist, but make it seem like if black women would get their shit together, which they should, in the sense of if black women would get their shit together where they stop putting men before their children and before themselves, you wouldn't have a lot of this stuff going on. So if she was coming from that angle, I agree with her. But if she was just speaking generally in the sense of the things that they do versus black women, because when she also had said something about them not being like us in the way of we look at the reputation or how people feel about us or their expectations of us, and men don't do that. And I'm saying to myself, nothing could be, now I know she didn't phrase it exactly like that. It was something similar to basically her saying that we care about what people think about us, but guys don't. And I was saying to myself, nothing could be further from the truth, because how you doing? If that was the case, they would, it's sunny over here, they would never ever socialize themselves the way that they do to create videos like the Truth did, that Adagon Forest dude, to try to convince and brainwash and manipulate other black guys into feeling like, oh, it's the cool thing to do, the right thing to do, to run around town talking about how you want to kill black women and how other men should join in on you because black women are not kissing your ass the way you want them to, so now they should die for that. So if that is not the highest level of the most despicable type of morality and type of character in a person or in a group of males, I do not fucking know what is. So I didn't appreciate that, so I made my little comments underneath the video stating how I felt about it. I wasn't disrespectful, but had to let it be known I don't agree with that shit. I really don't, because we know it not to be true. But it's always the same thing, and I understand why it is. And believe me, y'all, I had this conversation with my youngest son today. It is the way black women are conditioned, from little girls to grown women. It is also the way that we are taught to suffer in silence and swallow and just go on and deal with, walk that shit off, all types of trauma and all types of debilitating, horrific experiences that we go through from being little babies to grown ass women, to the point where people have become so okay with, familiarized with, and most importantly, comfortable with our suffering. And that is extended to even motherfuckers that don't know us, not are in the same race with us, just in the world with us. Like, case in point, let me explain to you. I just came from therapy, right? Because I told y'all I had still recovering from a bad car accident, getting hit by a truck. So the woman, the therapist, she was putting the electrical impulse leads on the both parts of my spine, left and right. So I have on a pair of sweatpants today, right? And I have these joggers on, and I tied them very tight just so they couldn't pull my pants down to expose my ass, because I don't like shit like that. So this lady literally dug her hand in my waistband and yanked my pants, and I came up off the table, I took her forearm, and I said, listen to me, don't ever grab on me like that again, okay? So she let go. Oh, I'm so sorry, because I'm not that motherfucker. Like, I will swing on her, try to control myself, but I am that type of person that will swing really quickly. So the way that I grabbed her really startled her. And then I had to remind her, and I said it with everybody listening, I didn't give a fuck. I had to tell her, let me tell you, when you come deal with me, do not come to me with that passive aggressive, I'm gonna just do what I feel like doing to you because you're black and I'm about anti-blackness shit, because I will hold off on your ass, okay? Don't do that with me. Don't. Because I'm really not the one to be playing them games with. And I don't care about getting arrested. I will fuck you up in here. So anyway, she pulls back. Then the supervisor comes. And I said to her, I'll tell you the same thing. She's not going to be pulling on me like that. It's not part of her job to try to, like, disrobe me. Let me go back to that. Disrobe me and disrespect me. That is not what she's here for. Jackie said, there was a black woman, CC. I don't know what CC means, but oh, God damn it. Yeah, it was disrespectful. They do it all the time, Star. That's why you got to flip on them. Last night that went on a rant about horrific experience she went through in her elementary. Oh, you talking about, listen. Last night, okay, let me explain something to y'all so y'all know me, get very familiar with me. I'm not one of those women on here that is afraid to call other people's names. Hello, I am. I'm not like that, because I'm not out here just deliberately disrespecting and being crazy for no reason. So, and we're not children. This is a platform none of us own. Don't ever listen to any of these people when they're talking about don't drop names here. They do that specifically for one reason, because they don't want you to give that person any clout, any followers, or any views. They're selfish pieces of shit, and they need to stop saying that high school bullshit. If people like you, they like you. The whole point of YouTube is for you to go to see everyone whenever you want to. But I'm going to always tell you, don't listen to bullshit that goes against your best interest. Now, you don't got to listen to me. You go view whatever the hell you want. But if I feel it's in my best interest to tell you something that's harmful to you, that's my opinion. You are grown. You don't got to listen to my opinion or my instruction of that person is an asshole, actually wrong for you. You are fully able to make up your own mind. So when they do that type of shit, they do it for selfish reasons, because they're clinging on to this shit as their life, like they need it in order to do whatever the fuck it is they doing in life, right? I want to also, before I get into the part about my girl last night, because I really like her, and I was feeling some type of way last night when she was going through that. My girl, RWS hashtag exposed, right? She changed it. She got a new platform now, Matrix Exposed or something like that. But it was her. And I could feel and hear the pain when she was doing that. Not saying that she was sitting up there crying and feeling sorry for herself, because that's not what I'm saying. But as a black woman, I could appreciate the level of trauma and the horror and the fucked up treatment she had been receiving from such a young age. And the fact that in some parts of her story, because believe me, I was in the middle of cooking dinner for my dogs, right? So I was sitting on my couch, running back from the couch to the kitchen, and I had her blasting on the TV. You know how you could take the stuff from your phone and airdrop it to the TV. So I had airdropped it to the TV because I'm running backwards and forwards and I wanted to be very, very loud. So when I'm listening to her story, I'm thinking about shit that in my own life mirrored a lot of the shit she was saying. And this is the stuff I'm talking about. When people talk about us, they never stop to factor in all of the unnecessary bad experiences we're forced to swallow and act like, oh, it's just another thing that happens to you in your black life that you're supposed to expect, supposed to get over, and supposed to get accustomed to. No, you're not. No, you're fucking not. And this is the point right here in the conversation where if there was a smart ass in the chat, somebody would say, hey, Stephanie, that's the reason why we don't like calling ourselves strong black women. And I would say, you're right to a certain extent, because you do have to be strong, because you don't need to be weak being a black woman, because you will suffer in life. But at the same time, you don't want people to be thinking that you the Teflon Don and nothing that they do to you has any effect, because then they're going to just abuse the shit out of you. And you don't want that. You definitely don't want that. So I think I'm going to have to move again because I'm losing the light, but it's not many places. All right, let me try this one over here. So, but I felt her last night. And when I say I felt her, I mean I really felt the anguish that she was experiencing as a child, that she was reflecting on, the fact that a lot of times in her story, she seemed like there was a point where she was so vulnerable. Yeah, they do start. They really think that we're supposed to be socialized to accept abuse in all types. And there's a reason for that. It's the legacy of slavery. Because they would literally, think about that shit for a minute. They would literally beat the shit out of us until they bust our skin open, down to the fucking bone, where the meat was exposed repeatedly. And women, children, and males survived that shit. So this is where their mindset and their frame of reference is coming from. But what they don't understand is that's not because they survived it because it's something that is normalcy to us. It is because they wanted to live. The terror that they were being subject to was not enough to make them give up on their own life, which is why they were able to get through that shit. But that's the reason why they feel that way today about us, period. Let me come back to that statement. Hold on. She said, this is the reason why black women need their own space, safe spaces with trust. It's true. Now, Jackie, this is the reason why I'm forever looking to find a place where it's really free and easy and as like computer friendly as YouTube is, because it's even though it's the shitty platform, it's one of the only places where anybody can get on here, easily set up shop and get to work. There's another one that people have been talking about. I looked at it last night. It's called Locals. It's not that great, but I'm a see. I also had looked into, because I don't know much about it, what is that place called that everybody goes to? Is the one that I had set up an account with, but I haven't been on it yet. Is, what's the name of that? Patreon, right? But here's the bottom line. The safe space is needed because as vulnerable as she made herself last night, there's still going to be people. I might as well start walking just a little bit, because maybe if I get to the car, I could be warm, because it's cold out here. But as vulnerable as she made herself last night, right? I could feel what she was going through as if I was right there with her, because I too was also bullied in school. And in my case, I was made to feel like extra bad in some cases. Yeah, thank you. Because I actually went to school with a sister who was like not much younger than me, and a lot of times we ended up in the same class. But because her skin is lighter than mine, her hair is straighter than mine, and her eyes are lighter than mine, she was always put in the front of the class, and I was always put to the back of the class, right? So, of course, this is my sister. So when you fucked with me, she came. So that was the issue, because what used to tend to happen was, until other people in the school, like the adults and kids in older grades and etc. really found out we were siblings, a lot of times people would treat me like shit, but they loved her, you know? She could never do no wrong. Most times she was the teacher's pet and all of that kind of stuff. She said, can someone define what a safe... Let me come back to that, I am. Hold on. Can someone define what a safe space is for black women online? Buildings, meetups. Okay, what... This is just my opinion, okay? But everybody has a different one. My safe space is kind of like my platform without the being beat down and pushed down on by YouTube. Like when you come to my platform, if you haven't... Sorry, I'm in bad spots walking. Notice what I did there. I literally called the gay and the trans women guys men and the black males males. You know why I did that? Because in a lot of instances, even though they put on a fucking dress and they want to have sex with other men, that's their business, they're more manly sometimes than the fucking black males that come on here every day with their incel asses and manosphere bullshit talking about black women like idiots. So that's why I did that. That was another way to insult them. But back to the point. I don't have that over here. And if I see that beginning to happen, I will cancel the whole live, begin again, or block as many as I can, give out wrenches to keep them out. I don't want them here. Anytime you have black women trying to speak for the empowerment, betterment, benefit for black women, you cannot allow men of any kind. The first time you put men into the equation, the best interest or empowerment of women goes right out the fucking door. Because all the attention and all the focus is going to immediately go to them because of how the world and society is indoctrinated by patriarchy and by making women feel that they are inferior to men. And let me catch that comment. She said, I've been behind paywalls and respectfully had to leave black women because this shit just keeps closing. 1 second, y'all, I gotta fight with this, okay? Black women, bashing other black women. Well, you know, let me speak to that real quick, right? That's gonna happen because not everybody is big enough to be, I guess, as fair or as civil or offer civility the way I do. Like, I don't by any means consider myself a person that's above talking shit because I do it every day, right? In my real life. So the difference between me and a lot of other people, because I'm speaking to your question to me, right, is that I'm not afraid, right? You see my face, I'm not hiding behind avatars, I'm out in the street talking shit. Today people to the left and right hear what I'm talking about. Now, if any of them decide to step to me, I'm gonna fuck them up, and that's really how it is, right? So other women are not that ballsy on here. They hide behind avatars, they dox women, they do wicked, sneaky shit that is unnecessary because vibe they need it for, whatever they need it for. Even if they just want to feel like they're the head negress in charge. Maybe they need it for that. You never know, right? So they do those things because they're always in fear of the fact that you all subscribers are going to no longer feel that they're relevant. Leave them, go to the other people, and then where will they be? I'm about to walk through a dark space, so bear with me, right? This is an underpass I gotta go through to cross the street. So this is why that happens. But I have always and will always continue to be the type of person where if I have something to say about somebody, I'm going to say their name. I'm not gonna like try to fight and talk about them where they can't defend themselves because I'm here. And I'm outside today, so today might be a little bit of an exception, but I normally always put the link in my chat. Internet fight? No. Because my take on that is if you really want to fight, then, right? So I'm from New York, so on the lines you come to see me. I don't do things like that. I don't fuck with people unless I really expect to fuck with people. So that's my definition, long-winded. Anyway, version of what is a safe space for black women. That means anywhere a male, but most specifically a black male, is not there. And that's it. You could talk in those spaces. I feel like you should be able to talk freely. And when I say freely, I need a spot in the sun to like put my hood on a little bit. What's they doing over here today? Gonna have some construction going on? Okay. So I feel like you should be able to speak freely, right? Not have anybody try to shut you down for your opinion if your opinion doesn't agree with them, and make you feel as if your contribution is not wanted or accepted. People shouldn't do that to you. And again, that's why I feel when I speak about certain creators, like especially Cynthia, she's one of the biggest people I have a problem with her content, because she's been on here for such a long time, right? Doing the same shit. Now that's the one thing I can agree 100% with Coldest perspective, is that when she was talking about Cynthia, right? And how she flip-flops. Well, she didn't say that. I said that. But I'm paraphrasing, right? The way she flip-flops and the way she steals people's talking points and steals all kinds of shit from people, and then runs around and claims that, oh, I came up with this. I created that. Like, you didn't do any of that shit. Hold on, let me pull the mic out from underneath my thing here. She didn't do any of that. Like, I keep telling y'all, right, that I'm one of those people that used to watch a lot of these folks online before I decided to do this. So I've seen her when she first came out, and she was with those crew of people talking all this stuff about white folks and white supremacy. All right, sorry about that. For whatever reason, like, the reception is giving me issues. Sorry, y'all. So I'm outside, so I had to turn the Wi-Fi off. Hopefully the satellite will do better. But, so, can I go over here and sit? No, they're going to kick me out. All right. So what I was saying was, I've seen all the changes. I saw the big blow up that a lot of you missed, where her own friend exposed her on her own platform with the emails and sonogram of her baby that she had by that dude. And then her lying about it, fighting with the people that she separated herself from now, like Woman's Fear, Nyla and her boyfriend, and the rest of the people, right? Don't forget about Renee and the rest of them that used to always be there with her. There were several people. You notice all those people are gone, right? That seems to be her track record on here. So when Coldest Perspectives was talking about all that, she was absolutely correct. And so therefore, I agreed, and I made those comments I made, which is why, once again, to go back and piggyback off of that thing of what's a safe space, I don't feel she is one, because she's aware of black femicide, right? She's aware of sexual assaults on black girls and black women. We're aware of it by websites like Black Girl Unlost and etc., where we got all these women spotlighting the violence that's committed against black women from these black dudes that these people are constantly trying to make excuses for, make allowances for, and make it seem like black women who speak about or speak up against these injustices against these dudes are hating ass black women that, oh, you just hating because you want a black guy. Nothing could be further from the truth. When I tell you, as a content creator, I don't fuck with them, I don't fuck with them. Like, my sons, I have no, hey, yo, I'm about to walk here. Watch my toes, homie, okay? Watch what you doing. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, that's fine, homie. Just watch what the fuck you doing Or you gonna catch a bad one out here, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck about that shit you talking. You watch my fucking toes, fucking bitch. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to get out of character like that with y'all, but I'm really about to put my foot in his ass. Talk all that shit when you drive off, nigga. I'm standing right here. Anyway. Okay. One sec. Now the car. Sorry, dudes. The car is annoying. But if I go in the building and I don't feel like not talking right now, it's going to cut me off. So I don't want to do that. What's causing my door to do that? So that's the reason why I feel like it's not a safe space, because the whole point of people to do those videos about women and the falsehood of black women empowerment is to literally show you how the shit don't work, right? And the reason why it doesn't work is simply because those particular women do not give a fuck about other black women. They care more about fucking a black dude, being with him, bigging up his persona and image in society, right? Because that's important to them. Because they feel like it's better for them to have those dudes with their back than black women. Because as much as we talk about the need for black women to get a sisterhood, leave these motherfuckers in the dust where they belong, you always have these women out here that will fight other black women tooth and nail to keep these motherfuckers in their lives, in their communities, in their homes, involved with their children, everything. Everything in your life where you should be kicking them out of, they work so hard to keep these motherfuckers a part of. Which is why you always have a problem with the safe space issue. The fact that BWE don't work is because their focus is never on helping black women. It's always on doing the same thing that the black dudes do, which is using the black women. Anything to exploit them and use them any way they can to benefit off of the pain. I'm trying to stick this in here right here to stand it up. Benefiting off the pain that black women go through. That didn't work. So that's why you got all these problems. And that's the reason why people come out like the Coldest Perspective and others who have to make these type of videos to constantly bring to other people's minds, to black women's minds, that you got all these fraudulent black women out here who have these huge platforms that have been here for a long time, perpetrating the fraud, playing the fucking game. I hear you, homie. They just did the same shit to me. Cuss his ass out properly. That's right. These motherfuckers down here, man, they don't stop till you grab them out that car and whoop that ass. Then they understand, like, oh, maybe I should stop at the fucking stop sign. Anyway, y'all, forgive me for going on. But anyway, that's the reason why all this shit goes on. Because if these women, any of them, and right now I'm talking about Cynthia, but when Coldest Perspective did that video, she was comparing or contrasting Paris to Cynthia. Now, in my opinion, they all the fucking same, right? Paris is a young girl that talks a lot of shit to a lot of women. She always harps on trying to do this, the us versus them shit with the separate and divide between women, young women and older women, people that have versus who don't. It's always some bullshit like that with her, right? That's who she is. You know who she is. And if you down with that, watch it. If you're not down with that, fuck her. Let her sit there and talk to her fucking self. That's the way I feel about it. But most people don't have that type of commitment to their own personal self-integrity, right? Because me, I'm very simple. I've lived all those years those women are living through now and did much better. Not trying to act like I'm all that or got everything, but I did. I had two husbands that were making way more than I made. Plus, I had a lot of money of my own. Plus, I'm a black woman that was born into a dowry, right? Which not many of us can say that. And I'm not saying that to like be fucked up in any way, because I'm not. This is just a matter of fact. So when I'm listening to people and I see how they're coming at other black women from a standpoint of parent-child, teacher-child type of speaking, I'm up here, you're down there, so I'm going to talk down to you because this is where you're supposed to aspire to be. That's not how you're supposed to approach black women at any time, because it's a different time. Like me, when I was young, we didn't have the things you have to make yourself successful in every way imaginable, which is what black women empowerment should be about. If you got all these women on here that is pretending that they've made it everywhere in life, but you never see any examples or proof of it, and they don't really have to do that, but I'm just pointing out the facts, right? If you know all this shit, why don't you share some of the stuff you know? Because it could be that you don't really know the shit you know, or you're just that fucking selfish where it goes back to my first point. You don't really care about black women. You care about using them the same way the dudes do. And we definitely know that about Cynthia, because this chick uses every single father of philosophy known to man. She steals all their talking points to make believe it's hers, right? And then she goes and, like I said, Googles or reads things from the past and brings up history that you don't know to perpetrate like it's some shit she's created or she's come up with or she has learned, deducted by, I've read this, I've read that, I've read the other thing, and so now I've come up with this. That's all bullshit. It's all reiterated, rehashed black history that you don't know. Everything. Like, there's a part where, what's her name? Coldest Perspective was talking about the word dusty, right? And how Paris always goes on this long shit about this receipt trash and trying. That's all bullshit. Let me explain something to y'all, right? Whether somebody says something on YouTube or not, unless you're going to bring up every black person that has ever been in existence who has spoken, please stop trying to claim rights to things that are said or created by black people, because I can almost guarantee you all the shit they're saying, people were saying this shit in the 20s, in the 1800s, in the 70s, whatever. As long as it was black people have a way of coming up with very witty sayings, little cute colloquialisms that everybody takes and uses the new slang as if it's the new word, even if the word doesn't even come close to the definition of what they're trying to describe. Case in point, that stupid fucking word ratchet, which has not a goddamn thing to do with a person or a behavior. It has to do with a fucking mechanical device or mechanism. But the word wretch speaks to a person of a very disgusting fucking behavior, which is what those stupid motherfuckers weren't smart enough to understand the difference of. So when she's talking about this word dusty, are you aware of the fact that in the 1920s, they used to refer to black people literally as dusty? Think about the phrases they used to use back then. Dust bowl, everything referring to dust. Let me tell you why. Because in a lot of states in America, back like right after the Industrial Revolution and all that type of stuff, the places had a lot of red clay that was used to pave the streets, to make up streets, to make up, they didn't have a lot of roads really back then. They just used to have like turned over dirt to allow a lot of the animals to go through, and whatever type of new transportation they had, whether it was the era of trains, the new cars, whatever it was, right? Because normally it was basically a horse and buggy, right? So you took red clay for that, right? So when people would walk through that clay, the clay would kick up and literally the dust from the clay would literally cover people, cover the animal, cover the cart, all that type of shit. So the word dusty grew out of that social condition. It didn't grow out of someone trying to disrespect another person. That shit has always been around, Dusty. If you read certain historical content, certain areas in America, like rural Georgia, rural South and North Carolina, even certain areas in the Dakota and Arizona, you'll hear them refer to the dust people, dusty this, dusty that, because of the climate. So she does this shit all the time. And so this is why I said she's a liar. Like, and there's certain things she can't try to say she's coined. Like, you see how she uses that shit, proximity. I never can remember these dudes' names because I don't give a shit about white old men, right? Who brutalized black people and others in their lives and then call that shit science. But there's a psychologist, and he's one of the dudes they teach us in the Google course for selling misrepresentation of psychology to people to get you to buy stuff. He came up with that proximity. What's the other one? Proximity, similarity, and there's one more. Proximity, similarity. I forget the third one, but they go together. It's three concepts that psychologist came up with. She uses all the time as if she's some brilliant mastermind. And this is why, when this woman was saying earlier, this perspective, that you have to be careful, and why there's so many reasons why BWE falls. It falls because of this dishonesty, the misinformation, the deliberate, should I say it again? Deliberate misinformation and dark psychology being used against black women to lead them astray, to lead them away from their real purpose, which is to center themselves and do what they need to do in life so that they can live better, get out of poverty, take care of their children better than what these women are suggesting, which is that from Ayana to whoever else out here telling you that in order for you to live hypergamously through life, you need a fucking dude to do that. You don't. You can live hypergamously without them motherfuckers. You really can. So this is where your access to what you have today is greater than the access I had yesterday. You have the internet. There's nothing more powerful at your disposal. Anything you do not know, you can learn in a video, reading some material online, taking some courses online, and you could go from having $0 to $1 billion within a couple of years' time, as long as you dedicate yourself to that commitment. I cannot say the same thing when I was your age, because all I had was the motherfucking library Dewey Decimal System. That's it. And the library fucking archives. You now have everything the internet has to offer you at the end of your fingertips. So there's no reason to say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. You can. You could do like anything you want. You just have to sit down and be dedicated to being that selfish and that self-absorbed and worrying about your own benefit in life, that you're not worrying about relationships or whether this guy is right for you or that guy is right for you. Do that later. Do that after you get your money, after you make your mark in life. You sustain yourself somewhere where you don't worry about whether this guy who has more than you, because you only should be concerned with the dudes that have more than you, not the ones that are at the same level or lower, always above, right? You need to be that way when you want to bring somebody into your situation. But when you're trying to create your situation, you don't need them to get you there. All you need is old-fashioned elbow grease, the right mentality, and a serious motherfucking work ethic. If you have that, you can have the fucking world. Believe me. Like, there's a story I read, and I will never forget this shit, on YouTube years ago about a stripper I used to follow. Yes, I like the black stripper. She was the greatest on here. She no longer has a page. This girl used to strip and was going to coding school. That's why I was following her. And she was teaching me coding tricks. This lady now makes literally 7 figures. She went from not being able to pay her rent and dealing with disrespectful people pulling on her ass and squeezing her titties to being able to buy anything she wants in life, having her money to go where she needs to go, and not catering to anybody's ego to live her life. And she was very fascinating to me. But she is the future of young women today. Her story is a perfect example of you being able to do whatever you want to do as long as you commit to it. But you're never going to be able to get to that level of commitment and having that clear vision of being where you're supposed to be in life or wherever you want to go if you listening to motherfuckers like Cynthia. Cynthia and a whole lot other on here. I'm sorry, but I'm just on her ass today, okay? But if you're listening to her, who's trying to convince you that she made one statement about, you know, how she feels about aborting black boys. Then she backtracks and now, oh, I was wrong. And this is her catchphrase for all the shit to try to say, fuck what I said. Keep listening to what I'm trying to tell you because I need you to be here, right? Oh, I was wrong. People grow. That's how you know you're doing. That's all bullshit. That's all gaslighting. She has a new talking point now and she's pivoted away from the last thing because that shit wasn't working. So now that she's put her ear to the pulse of the black women of YouTube and she hears people saying, that's bullshit. That's no way to talk. How are you going to tell black women to do that when you're still in relationships with them? It doesn't make sense. So she has to curtail and revamp her selling point. This is all part of fucking marketing 101, right? So as she's doing this, she did this shit in that very video that the coldest perspective put up, where it literally has her verbatim going through the, I need to backtrack on this message because it wasn't working out too well for me. So I'm going to sell you some more bullshit, but I need to put it in a pretty bow. Here it is. That's the problem with BWE people. Why do you have to belong to something on here? Why can't you just generally come on YouTube and go, look, I'm so and so. I believe that this is what I can contribute to black women. Take what you want from it that's beneficial for you. Whatever you don't like, throw the shit back. I'm never going to come on here and literally mean it, right? I'm never going to come on here trying to persuade you into thinking that you need a black male to survive, that you need the black male to validate you, that you need him to be hypergamous, that you need him in any way in life, because that's not true. If you choose to have any male, that's because you want to. You don't need to do shit with anybody in this life. The only person who needs to get up, have the motivation, the follow through, commitment, and completion of anything is you, the person inside the meat suit. You. You're the only person that can get your ass up, convince yourself that, I need to put one foot in front of the other to do what the hell I got to do today so I can have money in my bank account to do what I want to do tomorrow. You're the only person in control of that ship. You're the only captain. So if they're not going to be real enough to come and say that shit to you firsthand, why are they here? They're here for what they can get out of exploiting you. End of story. Nothing more, nothing fucking less. So, I've seen all the stupid shit this week. I saw her put up the post. I didn't give a fuck about it. I read it and was like, right? I saw DZ respond to her post. I was like, I didn't give a fuck about it. But then, because the coldest perspective is new, and I have shared her videos to try to garner support for her because she's another black woman with an opinion that needs to be heard. Just because she don't have a million fucking followers doesn't mean that she doesn't have anything worth contributing to black women, because she does. That's the other thing wrong with the BWE and black YouTube, period. You got to stop all that fake ass loyalty to people like Paris, Cynthia, and others who have huge platforms, because they don't rightfully deserve that shit. Just because you have longevity in the game don't mean you're not toxic as shit, because they all are. When you really truly get down to the meat of it, they are really fucked up individuals coming on here fucking up people so that they have fucked up lives. And they do it intentionally. They do it knowingly. Like, listen to what I'm saying. If a black woman has information, right, you share it. And the reason you share it is because you have, in my opinion, you have an obligation to reach one and teach one. Because we all black women living collectively in this society looked at by all other non-black people the same way, treated as fucked up as everybody else. You saw what just happened to me right here in my own city. I'm walking minding my business to my car. This motherfucker is not paying attention to the driving rules of the road. He literally sees me standing there. I have the right of way to walk because I'm a fucking pedestrian. He chooses, because he's in a rush and a car is in front of him blocking the crosswalk, to try to squeeze through the space that is between my car, a parked car, and the car on the road in the crosswalk, waiting for the appropriate time to be given their right of way to go. He wants to squeeze through the two cars, run over my fucking feet, and feel like I'm wrong for standing there and wanting to walk by when his ass legally, according to the VTL of New York, the vehicle traffic law, says his bitch ass is supposed to wait. He decides he wants to move his car, take the chance of fucking me up, and feeling like he's justified with it. So this is why it's important that when you're out here on these platforms talking to black women, if you have some information to share, it's important, because when black women are informed and they're smart, they're intelligent, they know everything they need to know, to navigate through life. Like all that shit that I just said in that story, it was information. Like I had explained to you in that story, I'm smart enough to know rules of the road, the actual law, the name of the law, so that if I have to refer back to that to fight his ass in court or call 911 and make a complaint, I need to know what laws I could get his ass on. So when you have information, you're supposed to share it. So that if another black woman finds herself in that particular situation or something close to it, or even worse than it, she has the information to fight strongfully the way she should in this world to get what she's fucking entitled to, when other people who are non-black and black are in this world trying to make sure she gets the short end of the fucking stick at all times. So when these self-proclaimed well-to-do black women are on these platforms talking about how they got degrees in this, they work here, they do that, and they don't share any information to help black women, they are what I call them, toxic. If you living good, is it going to kill you to share information with another black woman so she could therefore live good? Why? She could never come up into your house and go, I'm going to take your job from you. I'm going to disrail your life and take everything that you've worked so hard and accomplished. I'm going to take it from you just from you giving me a little bit of fucking information. That's never going to happen. Never going to happen. And then black women, you're supposed to be spiritual. You're supposed to understand that in this world, whatever is due you or supposed to be for you, not no fucking person can make it stop or make it ever not come to you. So by that, I mean, whatever's for you, no man can undo. No man, no woman either. So don't think like that. And please get rid of that stupid shit of crabs in a barrel that was taught to us in slavery. That is not the nature of a crab. A crab listen to me, pulls the crab back into the fold because that is protection. That is not the ignorant shit we have been taught, where we're taught to think that they want to hold on to the crab because they don't want the crab to have something they don't. That's stupid, the dumbest shit ever. And why would you even accept that bullshit? That's a fucking crab. That ain't a person who understands materialistic bullshit. That's a fucking crab that is saying, who the fuck, what are you, stranger, danger, whatever the hell you are? Who the hell are you to come reach down and grab one of our guys? Get the fuck off our guy. That is why they do that. Not that stupid shit you've been taught. The stupid shit you've been taught goes against the nature of the fucking crab and what you're supposed to be doing with each other. You know what? While I'm on this rant right now, let me tell y'all what happened to me on TikTok, right? This very thing I'm talking about right now happened to me on TikTok. The whole ignorant ass reverse psychology of crabs in a barrel. So I did a stitch, right? With some African lady that spoke about how when she first came to America, she was taught to stay away from black people. Because black people are bad, they're horrible individuals, they're pieces of shit, they're criminals, they're not worth, don't be with them. You'll have a bad life if you with them. So now I responded with the stitch because I too have many male relatives married into my family from other places outside of America who are white males, because I told you we got a lot of them in this family, right? Married to my black women relatives. And we have Asian men that have married into my family as well. And when you talk to any of them, they will tell you whatever place they came from, they were taught by white people. And I'm going to say that again for the white motherfuckers in the back. They were taught by white people not to come to America and associate with black people because they are bad people, criminals, and we fuck up America. This is literally what they teach them. They even go so far as to show them videos of black people committing crimes in the little like immigration rooms and custom rooms they got to go through before they get to America. I swear to God, I was told this firsthand by every fucking one of them. I lied to you not. So anyway, right? Going back to that post, right? So when I read the post, knowing this shit in the background, the lady who made the post, she didn't say who told her that shit. She just said she was told. Now, you don't got to be an Einstein or a rocket scientist to understand that who are the majority of the people that deal with customs, ICE, and all that shit, immigration, it's white people, right? Now, you will have agents that work on the ground, but the people in the office, the so-called big bosses, they're white because that is American capitalism and American patriarchy, right? All right. So I answered the stitch like this. I said, I don't have, and y'all can go watch it. I don't care. If I was home, I would just splice it in here. But I said, now, I don't have a problem with the person who did this video per se. No disrespect. But I have an issue with all black people that come from wherever they come from who have been indoctrinated or told this and actually believe this shit, right? And actually do what they're told. Now, this is me paraphrasing. This is not verbatim because I don't have a photographic memory where I can remember all the shit I said and did. So bear with me, right? So anyway, I said, these are the same people that you're taking this advice from that colonized your land. I said, when they colonized your land, was it advantageous for you? Or did it do what it normally does? Bring death, devastation, and destruction. Okay. Left the video, didn't worry about it. I kid you not even like 15 minutes after I posted it, every white person that actually seen the shit was, oh, you're a racist, you're this, why you coming at white people? Block, shut the fuck up, block, shut the fuck up, block. The black people, I took the time, if they had a question, to answer the question. And for those that were like, oh, I like this video, okay, yeah. My response was based off of not only history, but off of collegiate, academic, historical work done by Professor Leonard Jeffries from New York City. He did a whole thesis on colonization and the effects of colonization, which always ended in death, devastation, and destruction. Okay? So now to tie this into my analogy and the explaining of why you should stop believing and saying that stupid shit about the crab theory and the crab saying crabs in a barrel is because that is not the nature of the crab. And the whole point of people to get you to believe, white people in particular in America, to believe that when you have a group of a like thing or a group of the same thing holding on and trying to keep close to the chest the very thing that a stranger or something strange, unknown to them, foreigner, is trying to pull away one of their own, they should come and rally and try to fight to pull that person back because they don't know what the fuck that foreign entity is trying to do to their family member, clan member, whatever, community member. They don't know what the fuck they trying to do to them. So it is not a thing about, oh, you're trying to hold that one crab down. Does a crab know what the fuck a person is? No, they don't. When a crab is in their natural element, right? Or their natural habitat, they do the same thing each and, no, babe, no, each and every time when an enemy approaches or a foreign entity approaches. This is why you got to stop taking shit on surface level, whether it's a saying, a whack ass content creator who's fakely supposed to be a black empowerment woman, and you got to dissect that shit and literally go, these people are either on the up and up or straight out, these people are full of shit. Because it's you that's going to suffer. Think about what I'm saying all the way through, right? This is not just an attack on a woman whose content I don't like. And listen to the words that come out of my mouth. I did not say I don't like her because I don't know her, right? I don't like the shit she says and I don't like what she does on YouTube. There is a fucking difference, okay? So keep that in mind because this is the shit that affects you. When you listen to her bullshit and other people like her who are telling you just vet the best man from the job, that's all bullshit because it's still putting you, to use one of her words, in proximity of a motherfucker that may commit black femicide on your ass. You, as we often commonly say, don't have the time to fuck around and find out. So check this out, right? Why don't you just not fuck with it at all? Take care of yourself, take care of other women like you and protect little girls and let them motherfuckers fend for themselves. What is so hard about that? I want to know what is so very hard about that. You know what I wanted to try because I've been talking for a long time and I told y'all I was gonna do this but didn't. Let me see if I could get the. Let me pull all this stuff up and see if I could put the link in the chat in case anybody wanted to actually confront me or add something to it or whatever. How do we do this again? I'm sorry, y'all. Share, no. How do we do this shit again? What is this? Oh, that's how I look. I don't want to change. I don't give a crap about that. All right, so live. All right, how do I add? Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Live chat, top chat. I never know how to do this shit. I fucking hate YouTube for this. This is so whack. Like, StreamYard is just so easy. You just put the stuff in there. Do. Messages. What if I want to write something? All right, let me see. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I'm trying hard, and I can't remember how I did it last time. Live chat. Yeah, but I can't get in it. YouTube is something. I don't know how it works on YouTube to, I guess I won't be able to. I'm sorry. Don't worry. You know what I'll do? Later on, I'll just log into StreamYard and do another short live and give y'all an opportunity to come up yourselves and speak and give your piece if you would like to do that. And if you want me to do that, let me know. Put it in the chat so that way I can do it. Because I really don't know what the heck is going on here. I don't. Now I got this other stuff at the bottom of the screen I can't get rid of. I'm going to just leave it there. So that's basically all it was, y'all. why I had to speak because, I'm like, it's. I had told y'all this like a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, right? I had said every time you turn around, there's one stupid drama situation coming after the other. You had the Priscilla thing, no, the white girl thing first, then the Princella thing. Now you got all this. And you always gonna have the pushback from the stupid dudes in between, because that's just they gotta always fight to hang on to the apron strings of every black woman they could try to exploit. So they're always gonna be in there. But let me tell you what I heard them say last night. Now I have no idea why Angry Man came across my recommendations, because I don't usually listen to black males, period, right? But it popped up. And so I thought it was angry biracial dude. So I clicked on the thing because I'm not really paying attention. So then I heard him talking about how he's talking about leaving YouTube too, right? And he was saying how he got I have one of these too, but I don't use it. He has, what is the name of that shit? See, I should stop talking about things. I can't remember the name. So he was saying last night, and then I cut it off after that. He's going to start going over there to talk incredible shit about black women on the Rumble app and this new Locals app, because he feels like, excuse me, YouTube is getting too restrictive. Let me tell you the real reason why they're doing that. Now, being from New York, I don't always read the newspapers down here, but I do read the online a lot. So last week, right, in the New York Post, there was an article about the FBI zeroing in on keywords on YouTube that incel guys use, red pill dudes, manosphere dudes, like, so all these little fractions of idiots on YouTube, the repetitive talking points that they have to target promoting violence, shooting attacks, killings, physical assaults. The FBI, now, I'm going to say this word 3 times because I want to bring them to this video. The FBI, the FBI, the FBI. Instead of them doing their job of what they're supposed to be doing on here, which is to be looking into these dudes for the real shit that they're out here doing more so than everything else, which is killing black women by black femicide. It seems to me, going by that article that came out last week about the FBI in the New York Post in regards to, how did they say, they call them red pillars on YouTube, they're only worrying about white guys. They're not really worrying about the black dudes. She said, I just read your post. Okay, so if you have any comments, let me know. But now this is my issue with the FBI. You can do both things, dudes. We're out here dying. And these black dudes are committing these murders of children and women. They're making this whole entire country look like they're the most fucked up people since the public lynchings that Ida B. Wells had to go out and start a major campaign worldwide to bring attention to the deplorable and horrific crimes that were happening in America, just to get America to get up off their ass and address the fact that you have this homicidal situation going on in your country that you don't give a fuck about. And that's the same thing they're doing right now with black femicide. So when you read that article, which I suggest you read it, go to the New York Post, type in FBI, incels, red pillars, whatever. It'll pop up. It was just last week, right? Listen to what they're talking about in that article. They're talking about really fucking coming to get them. And you know why. This is a result of the January 6th hearings, the fact that they actually had to charge Trump and etc. So now, if it looks like we got to come after the big guys, you little motherfucking guys don't stand a chance, iceberg chance in hell. So we coming for your ass. So now they all running scared. So this is why you have the shit that they're doing lately. Like, they're seeking out all these other platforms to still try to recruit these criminally insane characters to continue to go around taking the lives of black women and little girls while they're out here victimizing everybody else in society. And it's my opinion that right, if they would focus in on dealing with the black femicide and the violence, they get rid of a lot of the crime. Because once these dudes knew that they're coming for your ass, no matter how much you try to hide, and they really start scooping them up, you think that they really be out here committing crime the way they doing if they knew somebody was really going to be on that ass like that? I know they wouldn't. Because living here in my city, all these little fucking petty criminals know you may get away for it with the moment, but NYPD is on your ass. And they're going to use all these CC cameras to come to your house, to come wherever you are holding up at and take you in by the scruff of your fucking neck. And they're going to be putting their foot in that ass all the way to the jail cell. They know it. So just think about if that was the understanding for all over this country. Do you think these people would be so ballsy and brave to be out here doing the insane shit they do on a regular basis? I think not. I think not. But you see, they let them know just how much shit they could get away with by putting it out in the public. They wrote a whole entire fucking another news article to let people know exactly where they stand. And they're also writing those articles to let black women know exactly where they should stand. If you have an agency like the FBI making it plain as day in this news article that they're really focusing on white red pillars, white incellers, white manospheres, you should know to get your shit ready to deal with them. Said most of the violent crime is committed by, this shit just keep closing on me. Most of the violent crime is committed by which keep probably violent damage, profit. Okay, even with all that, right? Let me see. Hold on, let me go back. Give me a minute, y'all. That's you, Weissman. You said, okay, every time law enforcement goes, all right, Weissman, or I think that's you, right? Or you said, I don't call black women mammies. Don't do that here, okay? Now, I know you got your right to say what you want, but I'm not with the fucking antebellum slang for black women. I'm not with that shit. So just call them stupid black women. You can even throw in a bitch every now and then, but don't call them that over here. And I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit at all, right? I really don't. I don't like it. It is what it is. I have my own idiosyncrasies. That's one of them. I don't like them fucking antebellum names. I don't. You have no idea how that shit fucks with me. Because I take that shit to heart. I think about how black women was really fucked up. And it's not cool to make fun of them because they not here. Believe me, if any of them black women could get up out of that ground, who literally were mammies, and confront you with that shit, they'd fucking beat your ass so bad it would not be funny. I don't fuck around with stuff like that. It's disrespectful. It is crazy disrespectful. He said, this is why I say black women need to let go of the idea of being in a relationship. All these males are scary as fuck. They are, Jackie. Don't worry, hold on. I'm not coming down on you. I'm just sharing my opinion. You could say the shit you want to say. Just don't use that word. It's all right. It's all right. Call him a bitch if you want to call him a bitch. Call him a stupid motherfucker. That's my favorite term, okay? I love that shit. Just don't call him that because I'm heavy into the disrespect of our ancestors. That shit fucks with me. It really does. Who's laughing at me? Are you laughing? Yeah, because I'm not coming at you. Believe me, I'm not. I just think about like, here I go telling my own personal stories again, right? I had a grandmother, right? That was the tragic fucking mulatto, right? She had a lot of fucking interpersonal crisis because she was a black woman that didn't look black. Wanted to be so black all her fucking life that she was the most pro-black motherfucker you ever want to meet, right? So, see, I like that word, right? Whenever I hear y'all Not you in particular, okay? Don't take it like that. Black women, period. Coming at other black women like that with stuff that was created to disrespect us and dehumanize us and think that shit is cool or it's even something you're supposed to do, it really fucking makes me cringe because I think about number one, how they actually had to live through that shit and couldn't push back or fight back against that shit without knowing that they was going to die that same day or the next day and all their babies going to die too. Okay? So I couldn't find what she wrote. Fuck Cynthia. I ain't talking about her no more. Go on her page, and if not, maybe go to DZ's page. Maybe DZ put it up or somebody else, okay? It's floating around here somewhere. She's just talking a bunch of shit. But let me just tell you this. Because she's heard us all talking about her, that's why she took it down. She does that shit all the time, okay? She does it all the time. Whenever you catch her fucking ass in a lie or you catch her in some bullshit that she wants to take back because she knows it's going to fuck up her image, she pulls it down. She does that shit all the time. Don't worry. Give it a little time. One of these people that really can't stand her will put that shit up and it'll be circulating again. But she was call herself going off on people. She's a fucking asshole. But anyway, get back to what I'm talking about. So, God damn it, it made me lose my point. My frame of thought. Anyway, this tragic mulatto shit. So she took a lot of that shit to heart. And then being a woman that grew up through segregation, through the Jim Crow, through a lot of that shit, she always had horrific fucking stories to tell us about literally seeing black people beat to death, shot in the head, beat to death. She was talking about how, listen to this shit. As a little girl, they used to go to Baltimore to one of her aunt's house because it was a house of ill repute. I'm not going to go no further than that. You let your imaginations run wild, right? They used to have to go there in the summertime amongst all this ill repute children had to be babysat in that house of that bullshit, right? Because it was the only people that had a big enough house to house everybody's kids every summer with enough black women there to watch them while all that other ignorant shit was going on in the house. Selling themselves, selling drugs, selling alcohol, you name it, they was doing it. All right. And being a rooming house for strangers in the street. Because black people used to get down like that much. I think black people stopped doing that in the early 60s. Up until then, you could not travel through this country without getting in contact with a church or some black association wherever you was trying to go so that you could get there safely. And every stop along the way, like on the Underground Railroad, you could have somewhere to sleep and be protected by other black people because of sundown towns. Remember that? That shit was very real in this country. So, when she tells these stories about all the shit that happened to her in her childhood, and y'all throw out those names, not y'all listening to me now, but just y'all in YouTube land, it reminds me of all those fucked up stories she used to tell me about how when she was down there one time, little girl, couldn't have been no older than like 7. One of her older cousins that was a favorite amongst the idiot black males in that town, she went to a bar and some woman's husband rubbed my grandmother's family member's ass. She was disgusted. She slapped his face, told him about himself, and left. Went home, crying and all that. Different black women back then, right? All right. She's home not even an hour. And here comes this man's wife with a fucking shotgun. And she literally blew a hole through the door of the house where they lived, demanding that woman come outside. I'm not saying her name because her kids are still alive and they watch YouTube and watch my channel and they'll really get on my ass for, you know, I gotta stay here. All right, so anyway, she shot through the fucking door. She injured a couple of people in the house and almost killed another. All right? Follow me with the story. My grandmother saw all of this. Now, here's where it gets really fucking twisted. That same girl's mother, who that woman came for, had her own fucking shotgun. Not only that, she had pit bulls. She let her dogs out first to fuck that lady up. Do you hear me? And then she dragged that woman around the back of the house. This is my grandmother telling the story now, into the fucking cornfield and blew the top of her head off and then buried her underneath the corn stalks. And she came back to her people on the block and said, if any of you tell what happened here today, I'll come up into your house next. So and I'm not telling you that story to talk about how tough she was. I'm telling you the story to talk about how the violence that black women have endured through this country's calling us names, creating characters and definitions of who we are, is why I get all bent out of shape when I hear y'all calling other black women those fucked up antebellum names, because so many black women in this country have suffered and died needlessly because of somebody else's fucking opinion of them. Y'all see what I'm saying? That's the only story I'm gonna tell you about that shit, but there's so many more. So many more I can tell you. That where this country was so fucking disgusting. It still is. And people pretend that it's great, but it's not. Because let me tell you something. If you ever get caught in the outskirts of America, in those backwater towns where people still have fucking outhouses on the end of their porch, you gonna find out just how ignorant and how redneck America still is to this very fucking day. Just get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're gonna show you. They'll show you. They're gonna show you. And then multiply that times 8 to the horror that black women and children experienced over 20, 30, 40 years ago, having to deal with that shit. Or more longer than that, because we 2023. So let's say like 70, 40, 50 years ago. Just imagine the amount of real terror they really went through in this country. So that's why I don't like that antebellum. I don't like that shit. I don't like it because it just screams like the abuse and shit and the terror we live through that we're swallowing and that we voluntarily are passing on to other people because we got an issue with them momentarily. You know, like, and that's all it is, because be real, right? Sorry, y'all, my allergies. I apologize for the rudeness, but all of us black women, whether you got an issue with me today, tomorrow, her the next day, if that person turns around and actually really starts to do the right thing by other black women, you ain't gonna have no problem with her no more. So why call them all those fucked up names? Just call them the regular, acceptable, disrespectful names for the moment, and then fuck it, let it go. Don't try to blanket them with a whole new fucking persona or definition to another layer of how fucked up black women are supposed to be, because it ain't true. It ain't true. It's just not. Those women are a product of what America has really made all of us to be. But for those of us that are not on that bullshit, where we're not male worshiping, we're not overly male identified, is strictly only because we have decided that we care about ourselves more than we care about a dude. That's the only difference. And one day, if ever those women wake up and they decide, yeah, I'm going to start looking out for myself a little bit more too, a lot of that shit will go away. Which is the end of this live. And what I'm going to say to sum it up in total is the fact that that's why, if you're going to be a so-called black women empowerment person, really truly be that. Don't be on here fucking around, giving people a false narrative of how they're supposed to be or how things should benefit them, when you know deep down inside or intentionally that shit is bullshit and you just gaslighting them because you want to exploit them like everybody. Don't do that shit. Because the thing they not really thinking about, that I think about all the time, even when I had that conversation earlier today with, hold on, maybe in their mind they do believe, they don't believe that shit. And don't even insult my intelligence by giving me that question. Don't do that to me. They know they wrong. I done sat here and told you the whole fucking time I was talking why she knows what she's doing, because she has a history of doing this shit. There have been examples, different situations, chaos and drama that has unfolded live in front of you on YouTube by this same woman who has done Am I heard now? Anyway, I'm gonna get past her. Okay, great. It was something with YouTube. I don't know. I think I might have clicked out of it, but just had the camera going. So, but anyway, I was saying she's an issue. She knows what she's doing. She's been doing it her whole entire history on YouTube. You don't believe me? Ask any content creator that doesn't like her to give you a history of the things that she's doubled back on or went back over to try to make it seem like I was wrong, but now I'm right. She's been doing that since she's been here. The amount of changes that she's gone through in her character or her avatar that she presents to you has changed about 5 times in my counting, and I don't even pay attention to her. And remember, I've been watching her since she came on here and used to rock with the dudes of the manosphere. I remember all of them. I didn't really always know who they were, but I remember when I used to see them on panels, hear them talking shit about black women and this one and that one, and then they changed. All right, so the thing was, she's not important. I was trying to sum it up to say, if you really are about that black women empowerment, this is really what you're supposed to stand for, just do it. Don't worry about trying to live up to my expectations or any other content creator who has a critique of you. Just literally do it. Like, get out there, teach the black women. Sorry, y'all. Pollen count is high, baby, today. But the get ready to crash into one another. Calm down out here. But teach the black women what you want to share with them. Teach them. If you are this high-powered tech person, please give them some tech pointers. Not just tech pointers, give them places to go to be employed. Give them people to contact who are doing the recruitment. Give them the titles of the jobs that they can get as entry level whatever, right? Give them the agencies that will stand behind them and push them into the job by way of the agency's reputation. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, really do the work. Don't just be talking talk. Anybody can get on here and fucking talk. But not many people can get on here and go, hey, listen, I work in this field, so this is what I want you to go do. When you go look for this job, this is some of the things you can do. This is some of the other things you can do. Go ahead and do that, right? Me, I do that. When I go, right now I'm doing that Google certificate, right? I put that information up for y'all. If I have to do a lot of this stuff again because I lost my other page, I'll put the videos together again for other ways you can get into different types of jobs that make 50,000 and up. You don't have to start with 30, 40 something, 50 and up, okay? I'll commit myself to doing that. But what I'm saying to you is, you got a lot of women on here that are already in those situations that don't want to share. Do you guys remember, like, just a couple of weeks ago? I'm not going to say her name, but when she sees this or hears of it, she'll know I'm talking about her. Because she's a new content creator, too, who I believe is full of shit as well. But, yeah, she got time. A woman could change, right? But here's the thing. Unbiased and Unbossed and I had talked about a class action suit. So Unbiased had referred me to a black woman who's an attorney on YouTube. Talks a lot about stuff legally. I asked her a question. I said, could you give me some tips about how to find attorneys to help us fight the black women hate speech that's going on YouTube, because we are looking into doing a class action lawsuit. Now, I'm still looking for them. I told Unbiased and Unbossed, give me a week, but I'm still doing it. So I'm going to try to keep doing it till Friday, because I got like a few more to call and a couple more I'm waiting to see if they're going to call me back. So anyway, this is the shit I'm talking about. That woman is already in the field. I'm desperately scratching at the fucking door of to try to find somebody or talk to somebody to scream through the door. Let me in, yo. Open it up. If I can't come in, open the shit up and talk to me. I'm trying to get what you got back there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When you got people, black women on here, that are already where you trying to be, and they're not willing to help, fuck you. You really ain't about nothing. What the fuck you on here for? To just talk about how shit is great for you and fucked up for the rest of us? Because you don't really serve no purpose if you're not really helping other black women. That's what I'm getting at in the summary of all this. It's like, I don't want to put her out there, but I'm just saying, like, what good are you? If you actually have the information but you don't give it, what good are you? You a black woman too. When they're out here disrespecting me, other people, any one of us, they're disrespecting all of us. You might not think it affects you until you're walking somewhere and you actually get assaulted or you get called every name except the one your mother gave you. Then you'll realize, oh, they mean me too. Yeah, they do. They do. So why wouldn't you want to help another black woman who's asking you, help us help ourselves, please? That's all we're doing. We're not asking you to do shit, give us nothing. Just help us. Just give me a pointer in the right direction. I'll do all the work myself. She couldn't even do that. So that's why this BWE shit, if you really gonna be about that life, please just do the right thing. And it don't take that much. And it's something that none of them do. Not any of them. Chrissy, Paris, Cynthia, none of them. They all claim to have great jobs, right? And be like the pillar of where they're supposed to be. But why don't you share that information with other black women who don't know how to do it? Nobody's telling you that you got to sponsor them or mentor them. Just give them the information. Why don't they ever fucking do that? because they're not real serious about black women empowerment. They just serious about feeling like the temporary God among mortals when they come onto their platforms because they've been here for 1,000 fucking years. All these women want to feel like that. They do want to feel like that, Jackie, because they don't give shit in return. They don't. Like, I have to just keep talking about myself because I can't talk about other people. It's not that I'm trying to big myself up, but I only am an authority on me, right? From the time I came to this motherfucker, I am who I am. I'm even the way I am in real fucking life, right? Let me tell you what happened or who I am. I look out for black women every day, all day. That's my shit, right? Where I live, there are people in my building who come to my apartment when they need money, they need food, they need somebody to help them with their children if they don't have an immediate babysitter, because I got a ton of fucking kids, okay? And I have grandchildren. None of them old enough to babysit yet, but my oldest grandson is smart as fuck. He is like a math whiz, the same way my oldest son used to be, right? So he tutors kids in the building. He helps people with their math. So they come to me with that. They know I got all these kids, so when people don't have clothes, they will literally ask, do you have any extra coats? Yes, I do. My supervisor that I used to work with 4 years ago, who has retired now, her and I are still cool. We still talk on the phone. I just spoke to her, what was it, Wednesday night or Tuesday night that passed, to tell her, because she volunteers at a church in the Bronx, right, that deals with homeless women and domestic violence, right? This is the shit that the church does. Sorry for cussing and being a heathen, talking about the church and cussing in the same sentence. Y'all forgive me, right? But what she does is, you know how the church has those sales and stuff in the church? So she goes around gathering donations from borough to borough for the black women, not just black women, but I'm just saying black women. She does it for the poor women, period, in the Bronx, right? So she goes to the places, she collects furniture, right? Because down here in New York City, we have tons of places where everyday people donate to charity and donate to places where poor people like me and everybody else could go, hey, I need a couch, I need a dining room table. Do you guys have that? I need it. Okay, put your name on the list. As soon as we get one, we'll call you, come pick it up. Or you could go online to Craigslist, and tons of people put all that stuff like that in New York City because they know other people need it. And y'all talk about this city, but let me tell you something about us. We're rude, yes. We will fight in a minute, but we will also help just like that too, right? So we do a lot of that shit for each other down here. So to get to the chase, I spoke to her, my ex-supervisor, last week. So this Saturday, I have my grandchildren, so I can't do it. It's too many of them to be carrying around shit to churches to donate. There's no space in the car. So anyway, next weekend, all the stuff that those little kids can't fit no more, all the stuff my big sons can't fit no more, and all my daughters, they bring that shit to me. Outside of what the people pick from in the building, I put that stuff in bags. I take it to my ex-supervisor to the church. She gives it to her people and the women in the Bronx. So this is why I'm saying, when you really not that person, don't fake it. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to be. There's nothing set where they got to stamp you. You got to care about another black woman because you're a black woman. That's not stamped on you at birth. But don't come on here perpetrating a fraud like that's what you here for when you really not. Don't do that shit. Because you really are making life hard for those black women that really believe in you. Because guess what? Same conversation I was having with my son earlier today. Those type of weak ass fucking mothers are the types that I had as a child. My mother was hooked on heroin, right? Because of my father and all of the racism and shit that they experienced in this world, and the fact that the people they came from, because of all their trauma, put that on her. So anyway, when you have those type of weak women raising children, right? Hello. Hi, Juanita. You put them in a bad situation, because When that mother is believing the bullshit you're teaching her about how it's the best man for the job or just vet them, and you bring in some pedophile or some predator into your home, if that lady, that black woman has something, some vice about her they could use to exploit her to take advantage of her kids, they're going to do that shit without hesitation. If she's an alcoholic, they're going to make her drink until she passes out and then attack her children because there's nobody to protect them. The same thing will happen if she's a drug addict. So this is why it's so important for us as black women to be real with other black women. If you're not here for them, don't be. Don't come on here and profess that shit. Come on here and talk about beauty. Talk about clothes, makeup, and some other shit where people can't hold you accountable to the bullshit you're doing. But if you really are here talking about, oh, I'm for black women, I'm for their empowerment, but you don't teach them shit, you don't give them shit, and all you do is use them, you want some bullshit, straight up and down. That's all to it. That's all I came to say. All right? Remember what I said. If you guys want to have your own rebuttal part to this live, let me know. Write it in the comments. Tell me when you're most available. I'll come back on with a live. Hit the links. Let y'all speak whatever the hell y'all want to talk about in reference to what you got to say about what I had to say here tonight and this whole situation in general. You can have your own little forum if that's what you want to do. Everybody could take turns venting or whatever they want to do. If you want to do that, just let me know. I'm fully open to the full expression and voice of black women. That's it. I don't get no money from this. I don't get no recognition. All I get is a feel good. You understand me? That's what I need. Because when I leave this earth, what I want to make me feel good when I close my eyes is that for every black woman that I could do something for, I went out of my way to make that happen. That's all I care about. I don't give a fuck about all this other stuff because it's not your job to take care of me. That's my job. Okay? So the only thing I come on here for is for black women. And believe me, if I don't have shit to talk about or I don't have nothing to say that I think is beneficial, you won't see me. You'll be wondering, where the fuck is Stephanie at? Well, she's busy doing regular everyday shit because everybody else is talking about stuff and I think you okay. But if I feel like it's something I can contribute that's beneficial, then you gonna see me. Other than that, I'm probably gonna be doing something else. I really am. So with that, black women, always from me to you, be well. Always take care of yourself, your kids. Center yourself first and foremost. Make everything about you, please. Leave all the rest of that shit till after you figure out what you got to do. All right? And that's it. All right, let me go upstairs and see what the hell Naya's doing and Buddha. And figure out how I'm going to cook this damn salmon tonight. Girl, I've been eating fish like every day this week. I have to because I have such high cholesterol, but don't you get tired of fish? I don't know what I'm going to do with this fish tonight, but I am tired of fish. All right, y'all. Good night. Oh, listen, y'all. Please spread the word. She said she loves it. Oh, I'll try and bake tonight, too. Maybe I'll throw some mushrooms and onions and who knows? But I'm so tired of fish. But anyway, listen, y'all. Spread the word about the Black Women's March, the Black Femicide March in California in October. Go get those tickets. They're free on Eventbrite. Please. You know, this is the least we could do for the 2 black women that are still fighting for us that used to be down with Rosa. They're still trying to fight for us. The least we could do is stand behind them, give as much support as we can, all right? And show up so that the rest of the world gives us the validation and the attention we need to help other black women and little girls out. Good night, y'all. Everybody be safe and be well till I talk to you the next time. Let me know in the comments what y'all want to do. And even if you have suggestions for the next live, as long as it's about black women, I'm good, okay? See y'all later. Everybody be well. Good night, y'all.